Epic. Welcome to Read Aloud. Today I'm going to be reading Crane Boy, written by Diana Khan and illustrated by Yumi. After we read the book, I'll let you know what I would like your Flipgrid response to be. It's going to be a really fun one, so I'm excited. Let's get started. Crane Boy, written by Diana Khan, illustrated by Yumi. Every October, I wait for the black-necked cranes to return. The birds fly over the highest mountains in the world to winter in the soft, wet fields of the Fujuka Valley where I live. Here they grow fat, eating worms, slugs, and the fallen grains from the buckwheat we harvest each year. I want to be the first to see the cranes. I look out my classroom window and shout, "Look, the cranes!" My teacher sighs, "Kinga, that's only a flock of crows." Another day, I see black specks in the sky. "The cranes!" My friend Pima laughs and says, "They're pigeons, Kinga." Day after day, I wait for the birds we call trung trung with their long necks and their long squawking calls. "They're here!" I shout. Pima says, "Yes, I see them too," and everyone runs to the window. I love how happy and excited they look here. The cranes circle the golden roof of the monastery, where monks chant prayers for the well-being of all living things. They fly over the crane center where Kato works. He is called the caretaker of the cranes. Kato tells us about these birds that have visited Bhutan for thousands of years. "Long ago, many more cranes came to our valley, but this year we counted only 203, he says. His eyes were sad. "But the more we learn to care for them, the more we can help their numbers grow." To protect the cranes, we preserve our wetlands so they have enough to eat, Kato says. But we need to find more ways to help them, for they are our sisters and brothers. What can I do to help? That night, I tell my family about Kato and the cranes. Grandmother says, "Trung Trung brings us good luck for our crops." "For hundreds of years," Mother says, "artists have painted them on the walls of our houses and monasteries." Father finishes his butter tea and says, "The cranes bring strength to those who love archery." I want to be a great archer like my father. At the village archery contest, he pulls back his bow until just the right moment, then lets the string go. Zing! When his arrow hits the target over 400 feet away, his team celebrates with a dance. They each stand on one leg, and then turn and jump up and down just like the cranes. "Waha!" they sing, thanking the cranes that have flown so far to bring the archers strength and good luck. Maybe there is a way I can help the cranes. The next day, I ask my class, if people come to our archery contest and to our festivals to see the monks dance, they would also come to a festival to see us dance for the cranes. Would they also come to a festival to see us dance for the cranes? Their faces shine. Yes! Our teacher says we must ask the monks for permission because all festivals are held in their courtyards. "Kazu Zengopala," we say, greeting the monks. "Can you help us make a new festival with a dance for cranes?" A monk named Sangai says, "Our dances have been performed the same way for centuries, and each one takes hours of practice." He sees our disappointment, and his face slowly breaks into a smile. "Dancing to tell stories is part of our tradition," he says. "But before we can help you make a crane dance, you must first watch the birds and learn from them." We watch a crane standing on one leg, holding as still as a day with no wind. When I try to balance on one leg, I wobble and I fall down. A crane throws back her head and her beak to the sun. Her black head has a spot of orange-red, the same color as the polished coral bead my mother wears around her neck to keep her safe. When the cranes bow down, jump up, and flap their wings, I do the same. What if I had wings? Pima laughs and joins me, flapping her arms. Pima, I say, the cranes are almost as tall as we are. When we show the monks our crane movements, Sanjay says, "You are now ready to learn some dance secrets." The monks show us how to turn and spin on one leg and then the other. It's hard. I get so dizzy I have to sit down. Every day we practice. One afternoon, Sanjay says, we sent invitations for the Crane Festival to every village in Bhutan. The morning of the festival, hundreds of people come in their finest clothes. The monks appear first in brilliant yellow silk costumes with animal masks on their heads, and they dance barefoot, leaping, swirling, and beating their drums. Now it's our turn. When the cymbals sound, we walk to the center of the courtyard. What if I get dizzy and fall? What if I turn the wrong way and bump into Pima? I'm afraid I'll let everyone down. I listen to the music and wave my arms like wings, up and down. I throw my head back and look up at the sky. I imagine flying. I balance on one leg, then spin in a circle with all the other dancers, turning and turning until I spiral up and up, lifted by the same air currents that lift the cranes. I swirl higher into the air until I float down to feel the ground beneath me. After the dances are over, we are surrounded by family and friends. Mother says, "Kinga, I will call you Crane Boy." Kato says, "Chung Chung are your true sisters and brothers." Then the guest of honor, the King of Bhutan, says, "You have given our country a new festival. From now on, we will honor the cranes with your dances." When the days grow warm, the cranes return to their summer home in Tibet, where they will build their nests, lay their eggs, and have their babies. I chant prayers for their well-being as I watch them fly away until they are just little black specks in the sky. Months will pass before I see the cranes again, and I will be taller. When they return, I'll help Kato count them. I know there will be more. Until then, I will practice turning and spinning so I can dance for them at the next festival of the cranes. I believe that any real and lasting solution to global issues can only come through a universal wave of human empathy, desire, and passion for the common good. The world grows smaller and smaller, more and more interdependent today more than ever before. Life must be characterized by a sense of universal responsibility, not only nation to nation and human to human, but also human to other forms of life. That's from the Dalai Lama. And here's a note from the author and the illustrator, a note from Diana and Yumi. Crane Boy could not have been created without the kindness and open-heartedness of the people we met in Bhutan who introduced us to their world. Guide Kasang Dorji shared his knowledge of Bhutanese history and culture. Teachers and students invited us to watch them practice dances for the Crane Festival. We were welcome to visit them in their classrooms and in their homes. The dust jacket and some pages of Crane Boy include drawings of cranes by students from the Beta Elementary School in the Fujika Valley. I looked up how to pronounce that.
Fujika Valley.
Fujika Valley. We also met the scientists, environmentalists, and economists working to protect the habitats where cranes can thrive alongside humans. We offer this book in gratitude to the people of Bhutan and to the sacred heavenly cranes who have touched the human imagination for thousands of years with their grace, beauty, and majesty. So now let's learn a little bit about Bhutan. Bhutan is a tiny country in South Asia, sandwiched between two large and powerful countries, China and the Tibetan Plateau to the north and India to the south. Bhutan lies in the Himalaya Mountains with a population of less than 800,000 people. You can see it here on the map in yellow. Dzongkha, I believe is how you pronounce that, is Bhutan's official language. Although there are at least 19 dialects and languages spoken throughout the country, the English language is spoken in all schools. Archery is the national sport of Bhutan, in Bhutan. The Bhutanese dress in traditional clothing. Men and women wear a knee-length robe in different colors and patterns called a go. Women and girls wear ankle-length dresses in beautiful silk or cotton called a kira. Some unusual mammals live in Bhutan, including tigers, snow leopards, yak, red panda, and a golden langur monkey. Under Bhutanese law, 60% of the country will remain forested for all time. Oh, that's awesome. Protecting plants, animals, and birds. The Phobjikta Valley. Let's listen again.
Phobjikta Valley.
Phobjikta Valley. Many families who live in the Phobjikta Valley are farmers who grow potatoes and raise cattle, horses, and sheep. And the growing demand for these potatoes has encouraged farmers to convert wetlands into more farms. These wetlands, however, are the precious habitat for the black-necked cranes. Organizations like the Royal Society for the Protection of Nature and local village leaders encourage farmers to either preserve the wetlands or to grow their crops organically, free of pesticides, so the cranes can eat healthy, non-toxic food during their winter months in the valley. In Bhutan, black-necked cranes are called trung trung and are celebrated in songs, paintings, poetry, and of course, in dance. All over the world, cranes are symbols of happiness, loyalty, beauty, grace, and love. Their lengthy migratory flights make them symbols of strength and endurance. Almost every village in Bhutan has religious festivals dedicated to local heroes and deities, as well as to the master teacher, Guru Rinpoche, who brought, I believe that's how I pronounce it, who brought Buddhism from Tibet to Bhutan in the 8th century. In the Phobjikta Valley, festivals are held at the Gangti Monastery, where prayers, songs, and both traditional and religious dances are performed. The Crane Festival is held every year on November 11th. We'll have to remember that next year. First initiated by the Royal Society for the Protection of Nature in 1998. It is now organized by the Phobjikta Environment Management Committee, along with support from the International Crane Foundation, the RSPN, and others. The popularity of the Crane Festival provides an additional source of income to some farmers in the valley who can now also benefit from ecotourism. Bhutanese festivals include dance that have been performed the same way for hundreds of years. The Crane Festival, however, is a modern creation that combines traditional dances, mostly performed by monks, with new dances performed by school children. The Crane Festival is the first and only festival in Bhutan dedicated to environmental education, telling the story that cranes and humans can coexist. Counting cranes. I love this costume. Do you see this? It's beautifully done. Counting cranes. Counting each individual bird is a challenge, but it provides valuable information for scientists and researchers concerned about crane conservation. Changes in crane population may indicate loss of habitat. Shifts in population levels, migration timing, climate change, and more. A flock of 200 to 300 black-necked cranes flies down from Tibet to spend the winter in the Phobjikta Valley, where Kinga, also known as Crane Boy, lives in our story. These graceful, elegant birds are some of the 5,000 black-necked cranes left in the world today. The crane survival will depend on the continued collective action of scientists, farmers, conservatives, monks, teachers, students, and others, including you reading this book. To learn more about how you can help, please visit www.savingcranes.org and www.rspnbhutan.org. I know, I'm going to go check those out. Look how beautiful those animals are. Okay, so what do you guys think? I love that Kinga had the idea to spread awareness about this endangered species by creating a dance to perform at the festivals. My challenge for you today is to think of an endangered species that you would like to save. Just one. I know we all have many species that we would save if we have the chance, but think of one endangered species, and I want you to create and perform a dance based off that species of animal. So for example, if your species is a bird, you can show me some flapping wings. If your species is a tiger, you can show me some claws and growling. Anything. I'm not going to give you any more ideas because I want them to come from your own heads. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. I can't wait to watch all of your dances on Flipgrid. I am really excited. I don't know if you can tell. Wonderful. So, as always, have fun, be safe, and I'll see you on Flipgrid.